Website headers and footers have largely been ignored. And they're important sections in your website. They contain valuable information. This is tutorial number 13, Headers and Footers, Part 1. Hi, I'm Candace. Welcome to Websites Made Easy with Candace. The tutorials in this series are based on the chapters of my book, I Need a Website, What Do I Do Now? If you'd like to follow along, you can purchase my book at Amazon.com. Headers and footers work together, like peas in a pod. They contain basic design guidelines. Here are some guidelines you should use when designing headers and footers. Have a simple design. Make it easy for your viewer to understand who you are and what you're about. Make sure that your header and your footer is clean and uncluttered. Use a readable font. It's got to be readable at a glance. Don't use stylized fonts because they're hard to read. A solid background is best for legibility. Transparent backgrounds are trendy. They're very cool right now. But make sure the words are readable. Both should be organized. Again, make it easy for the viewer to get the information that they need. It must be easy to navigate. Navigation is the motor of your website. There are specific principles that will help you get it right with navigation, and we'll be discussing those. And be consistent on all pages. You don't want your headers and footers to look differently on other pages. It makes you look amateurish, and it's confusing. So be consistent. One header style, one footer style throughout your website design. So let's talk about headers. The header is the first thing your viewers see when they enter your website. It is the motor of your website that links to information. Here are some headers from popular web builders that you might be using in the future. Notice that they are all clean, simple, and readable font on contrasting backgrounds. And they all have clear navigation. They point you in the right direction. The WordPress logo is centered. It's in white text on a dark gray background. Their colors are gray and blue. Squarespace is left aligned on a transparent background. When you use a transparent background, you must make sure that the text is readable. Notice how the word resources is easier to read because there's more contrast in the background. I really think that probably products and templates would have been better if they'd moved it over to a darker background. It's hard to see white on light blue. Wix is left aligned, black text on a white background. Black text is the easiest to read. GoDaddy is left aligned, white text on a red background. That gets your attention. Weebly is another site that is center aligned. Black text on a white background. Keep in mind that we read left to right. Center aligned headers are harder to read. The eye naturally goes to the left, then to the center, then left again, and then to the right. It just takes more time. Shopify is left aligned, a black text on a cream background, and they pull in their dominant color, green, to get your attention. And amazing websites. How did that get in there? At any rate, it's left aligned on a clean white background with black text. Notice that the home page is orange. That means that the viewer is on the home page. It's part of navigation principles, letting the viewer know where they are at all times. Remember, you do not want them to have to think. Navigation on your website is a map that you're giving your viewers. It is the website roadmap where visitors find links that guide them to pages on your website. It orients your website. Everything must be found quickly and easily. If users have to wander around the site trying to find out what they need, they're going to get frustrated and leave. So plan it out and keep it simple. Here are some guidelines to help you get it right. Navigation menus should have 4 to 7 choices. Don't confuse the user with too many options. Keep it clean, uncluttered, and orderly. The most important items should be at the beginning and at the end. The home page and the about page are viewed more than any other pages on websites. The contact page is next, and it's usually the last item on your menu. Take a look at Signature Kitchen and Bath. They have a home page, an about page, services, showroom, and last, contact page. Bakery Nouveau has a home page. Our Story is their about page, and on the right is their contact page. And one more to whet your appetite. Those really look good. You have your home page, about, and then finally at the end, you have your contact page. Make the menu easy to find and obvious. Don't make the viewer have to guess. Typically, it's going to be on the top or as a vertical sidebar. Consistency, as always, is important. You want to use the same navigation model in the same place on all pages. Your header will be at the top or at the side, and your footer will be at the bottom, which is why they call it a footer, right? And you've got to link your logo to the home page. This is a no-brainer. It's the easiest, fastest way for your viewer to return to the home page. Here we have Trader Joe's, and you can see we're already on the home page because it's highlighted in blue. Let's say we go on to another page, dig in, and you'll see the categories open up on the left side, and your product information is on the right. Now, if I want to go back to the home page, I can hit home, or I can just hit the logo, and it takes me right there. You see we're on the home page. It's easy to do. Give your viewer as many options to get back home as possible. Let users know where they are on your website. On Trader Joe's, they changed the color of the page to blue when you are on that page. You can highlight the text or underline it. You can make that text bold. You have to do something, though, to alter it from the other text to let them know that you're on that page. So as you see on my website, the page a viewer is on is in the color, my dominant color, orange. Now, if that viewer wants to go to another page, you can see the hover color. I use a mustard color for a lot of the background on my website. And if I click on that page, then that page gets the full orange color. And if I want to go back to the home page, I just click on Amazing Websites, and there we go. The header should be sticky. This means it doesn't disappear when the user scrolls down the page. It's always visible. As you can see with the Teachers Guild, we can scroll down, but you always see the header. The navigation bar should be thin because of this. If it's too big, it would be annoying. But it also means that at any time when you're scrolling down, you can go back up to the menu and go to a different page. So you want to make your headers fixed. You want to make them sticky so you can always move around easily on the site. Make it easy for your viewers to get the information that you want to impart. Use simple, friendly, descriptive words. You want to use words that describe what you're about in the menu bar. And Google likes descriptive navigation. And we all know we want Google to be happy. And don't use phrases. Use 1 or 2 words and no more than a total of 12 letters. People are used to seeing about, not who we are, or work, not what we do. Work with us, that just means join. News and opinion, just stick to news. Contact us should be contact. And finally, you don't need to say subscribe to newsletter, just subscribe. Keep it brief. Use words that are familiar to the viewer. Don't try to be clever or break the website conventional terms. Use about, not profile. And omit useless words, words that don't add anything. Use contact, not contact me. Responsive navigation is extremely important. This makes your website look good on different devices. 89% of all searches are made by mobile devices. So you want your website to look good on your desktop, your laptop, a tablet, and your smartphone. Subcategories or drop-down menus are added to fill out a menu item. They clean up a busy website, and if done correctly, they aid in the organization of your site. If you didn't have drop-down menus, your site would be cluttered. But keep them at a minimum. Mega drop-downs are only for large menu panels. They're used in e-commerce sites with large category lists or businesses that offer a lot of services, and they contain all the categories on one plane. Nordstrom uses mega drop-downs. You can go on to women and you can see, or beauty, any of these. Google is not a fan of mega drop-downs. It's too hard to crawl, and smartphones can't even use them at all. Small businesses should never use mega drop-downs. And what big businesses have done is they've tried to eliminate it. Take a look at Target. Now, instead of categories listed on the header, you have categories on the side. And when you click on it, you get a list. If you click on women, instead of a mega drop-down, now you have categories. And if you go into women's clothing, different categories. You don't have the mega drop-downs anymore. They just don't work. There are 3 main menu bar positions. Top of the page horizontal, side vertical, that can be on the left or the right, or on the bottom horizontal. Horizontal on the top is the most popular and the most effective. Visitors are used to seeing menus on the top. It's easier to find, it saves space, and it's the most efficient and easiest to read. Side vertical can be on the left or on the right. It is used by artists, restaurants, salons, and other graphic-intensive websites. It's a good option if you have a lot of menu tabs that you want to display. But of course, you shouldn't have a lot of menu tabs to display. It also stays on the side when scrolling down. Pioneer Square Labs has their menu on the right. You click on the right, and there it is. And here again, when you scroll down, the menu stays on the right. This is an interesting site from Denmark. The menu is on the right, and you can see we're on the intro page. If you hover over the dot, it'll tell you the names of the different pages. You can click on the dot, it'll take you to the page, or you can just simply scroll, and it'll take you to the page that you want. It's pretty innovative, but keep in mind, if the categories aren't listed, If you have to search for them, or click on a dot in order to see them, or scroll down in order to see them, it's not as effective. Bottom horizontal is used when the focus is on the image and not the menu. It's the least used menu position because the eye always drifts to the top when you open a page. It takes time to figure out you've got to go to the bottom. The navigation bar usually turns to a hamburger menu on mobile devices. The icon is made up of 3 slightly separated horizontal lines. The lines open to show the menu, and it's very popular on websites that want to be more spatial. But there are some major problems. As the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. If the menu is not open all the time, your viewer will forget about what's available. This website is a fashion firm in Italy, and you can see the hamburger menu up on the upper left. If you click on it, it will give you your categories. So let's say we want to look at tops. What happens is when tops come up, the categories close. If you want to see a category again, you've got to go back and click on another category. So the categories aren't available to you at all time. And if you can't see them, you forget them. So even though the menu we choose, whether it's horizontal or vertical, will revert in some cases to a hamburger menu on smartphones, it is best to remember that your website will function better if you use a horizontal or a vertical menu bar. Always keep your categories in front of your viewer. Don't let them forget why they're on your website in the first place. Make sure they see the options. The name of your company and your logo is your identity. It reinforces your brand. So where should it be placed on your header? The left side is the best place to put a name or logo because we read, again, left to right. In correspondence, logos have always been positioned on the upper left-hand side of the page. So it communicates location, it reinforces your brand, and it's better for navigation. Left side placement is used by business to business. When you place your logo in the center, navigation suffers. Users are more comfortable clicking the logo when it's on the left side. If you're a small business person, only use centered placement if you have a strong, recognizable brand name. You might think it looks better, but logos on the left work better. Statistics confirm that right-sided logo placement never works as well as left-sided or centered placement. The Guardian has their logo on the right. Which looks better to you? And Amazon has their logo on the left. But what if it was on the right? Which looks better to you? Brand recall is significantly weakened, about 89%, when the logo is placed on the right side. Viewers scan left to right, so don't even consider this option. You can add other menu bar items on most templates. If the template design supports it, you can add a search bar. You can add a shopping cart. The shopping cart or handbag icon is usually in the upper right-hand corner of all e-commerce sites. If you're going to sell online, that's where you should put it. That's where people are used to looking. You can add login and log out, and that's also in the upper right corner. It gives access to selected viewers. You can add call to actions, and they can be used on both the footer and the header. A donate button is a CTA. They encourage your viewers to do something. They're interactive. The call to action tutorial will be available soon. Tutorial number 14, Headers and Footers, Part 2, will emphasize the importance of footers. And there's a lot of really interesting things happening to footers these days. It's quite exciting. You don't want to miss it. It'll be fun. So Lulu and I'll see you next time. Won't we?